Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading Multi-Character Listener by me. So let's get into it. Neuvillette. He never had the pleasure of seeing you dance. So of course it was something more of a surprise. And it was a delightful one. He watched you for a couple of moments, trying to be quiet and sneaky, knowing that if you found out that he was watching, you would immediately stop, which is not what he wanted right now. He feels a little bit bad for sneaking around like that, but it was the only way that he could watch you and make sure you don't stop. And he found himself entranced, mesmerized, your movements seeming like something magical. You looked beautiful in a way you couldn't quite put into words. And when you turned around and saw him, you stopped abruptly, blushing. Neuvillette, I didn't see you there. How long were you watching? You ask him, fidgeting and looking away. And he smiled shyly, feeling embarrassed as well, but for a different reason. He's blushing as well, which is something you don't usually see on him. And for some reason, that's enough to make you feel a lot less embarrassed about this, as you walk over to him. You've been watching for a while, haven't you? Yes. I apologize for doing so. There's no need to be so sorry. I'm not angry with you or anything. It just sounded a little bit strange. Why didn't you tell me? Well, I felt quite embarrassed. But also, I knew you would stop dancing the moment I told you. That's why I hesitated. Well, you're right about that. To be quite honest, I never danced in front of you because I never believed I was good at it. But if you like it, then maybe I could do that some more. You say shyly, finding yourself blushing again, heat on your cheeks as you looked away from him. And he gently took your hand, bringing your palm to his lips and kissing you sweetly. I suppose I would like that. Please dance, my dear. I would be so happy to watch you, he says, and he sounds so gentle and so loving that your heart can do anything but melt. And that's when you start dancing again, much to his delight, and that little fluttering feeling in his heart. Wriothesley, you've never known this, but he was a good dancer himself, and it was something that he considered a hobby. He would do it in his free time, when no one else was around. It was simply a little bit surprising to see that you consider dancing a hobby as well, and that your dancing is so enchanting as it seems to be. He stood there, frozen as he watched over you, smiling softly. He really had many thoughts in his head, but one thing was loud and clear. You were beautiful, and he wanted nothing more than to be able to get his hands on you, wrap an arm around your waist, and join you in this dance. After all, it should be something he's allowed to do, and the two of you were dating, so it shouldn't be this weird. And so, after some hesitation, he wanders over to you, grabbing your hand gently, startling you. Wriothesley, I didn't know you were here. Why didn't you say anything? Well, I was having the pleasure of watching you, before I decided that it would be better to just join you instead. If you don't mind, of course. I don't really. I just didn't expect this. But if you're really excited for that, then I guess we can do it. I want this. Now, come on. Take my hand. I'm sure we can have some fun time, he says. And you blush, taking his hand in your own, and starting to dance. Your steps were a little hesitant and unsure, but slowly they came to match his own, and the two of you were caught in a trance, like this was something magical. And maybe it was, in a way. It was the first time you saw him dancing, and the first time he sees you dancing as well. And being able to hold you and see you so beautiful like this, to be able to enjoy it for himself, that was a delight on its own. And it was something that you will never forget. And once you're all done, he kisses you sweetly on the lips, making this moment certainly one to treasure and to remember. Arlecchino. Arlecchino was a great dancer. It was one of the things that she would do sometimes. Besides actually sparring, she liked dancing, but she kept it to herself most of the time, and she had only danced once with you. She was amazing, and it was almost too much. Overwhelming in the way that her gaze was so intense, her movements so fluid and so perfect that you felt like you could never match up to her. And so you had started to practice dancing on your own. And after that, you kind of actually liked it. And you wanted to surprise her, and maybe dance with her, or for her. Whatever it was, a surprise would be enough. It would be something satisfying, something that you would certainly want to do with her. And right now, as she saw you dance alone, she found this quite surprising indeed, in the best of ways. She smiled as she looked at you, chuckling to herself. Well, I didn't know you were such a good dancer. I suppose you were going to tell me soon, weren't you? She says, and suddenly you turn around to see her watching you and you blush brightly. Oh, Arlecchino, I didn't know you were watching. Well, now you do. Would you continue dancing for me? I like watching you. But I'm not really good at it yet. You're perfect for me, darling. Now go on. Dance a little bit more. And so, as she says that, you feel like you can't really object to her words. And you continue on dancing, blushing as you felt her intense gaze on you. But after you were done, she clapped slowly, going over to you and wrapping an arm around your waist, her hand coming up to your cheek as she leaned in to kiss you. You improved a lot, sweetheart. I'm proud of you. And weren't those just the best words to hear? Especially when they were followed swiftly by another kiss.